Well, hello, Math 2 people. Got a lesson for you today. This is talking about automobile insurance. So we're on 9-4 of our book. If you want to open up to page 175 and kind of follow along, we'll talk about the things that we need to know for our lesson today. A lot of what our lesson is being able to look at a chart or a table and then being able to interpret what they want. Now, anytime you buy a car, you have to have it insured. And the reason for the insurance is in case you, God forbid, you get into an accident. It happens sometimes, all right? When you have an accident with another person, you want to make sure that you have insurance on your car, but not only that, but you have insurance that would help cover if you would accidentally happen to do any kind of harm or something to somebody else, okay? And so that's kind of the kind of insurance we're talking about. It's called liability insurance. You accidentally, for some one reason or another, not intentionally, it still happens though. You could be at fault for maybe running a red light or something and then hitting somebody. I hope that never happens to you. I really do. But if it does, we have to be covered in case of those kinds of things. So it's called liability insurance. In our book, they give us 3 different numbers like this, and then they put slashes on them, okay? Each one of these have something to deal with. This first one is what they call bodily injury, okay? So the first number in the slash happens to deal with bodily injury. And all we need to know is that this number tells us how much in the thousands that it would cover if some person got hurt. Okay, so in this situation, when you have 100 there, we're talking about they're covered for $100,000 of bodily injury for the person that may have gotten hurt or persons that may have gotten hurt. So if those people had to go to the hospital, then your insurance would help cover for their payment so that they didn't have to pay for it, at least up to $100,000. Just depends on your insurance. Okay, next, you have this 300 here, and this one is for this is a maximum of all the injuries. Okay, so this is individually $100,000 per person to a maximum of $300,000 of injury. Okay, so this is still bodily injury, but this is saying, okay, we have a maximum of no more than $300,000. Okay, so that's what that one stands for. And then the final piece is the property damage, okay? This is how much damage you do to their car, okay? So let's say you bumped into their bumper and you're covered for $50,000, okay? For the repairs on their car, you pay for the $50,000 of their repair. So, and this is something that used to happen all the time, and then they would have to, the police officer or the people on the scene assessing the accident would have to decide whether or not you're the person at fault, okay? And so they've kind of gone away from that a little bit. They go more to what they call a no-fault insurance, and so everybody just pays for their own in a sense, okay? And sometimes that will happen. But back in the old days, you would be assessed fault, and then whatever your coverage was, then you had so much insurance to pay for that. And then after you use that insurance, anything over that, then it would come out of your pocket. You'd have to actually pay. So that's the reason you have that kind of insurance is so that you'd pay for this much. Now, the sad part about it is when you get into an accident, what happens is that the premiums that you have to pay on these types of things actually end up going up. The better you are a safe driver, the lower your premiums go down. If you've looked at any insurance commercials, you know, they all is like, Allstate is like, you know, accident insurance, you know, or, you know, safe driver, safe, you know, you get save 40%. I think that's the new commercial out there. Safe driver, save 40%. So you would save 40% if you're a safe driver, and they have little things that you can plug into your cars now that will tell whether or not you're a good driver or not. It will measure how fast you go or how much you speed up, or whether you're following the speeding limits of where you're at, because it has some kind of chip that recognizes the speed limits that you're driving on. Okay, so if you're a safe driver and you drive the speed limits, then it's going to recognize that. If it acknowledges that you at the start, or you take off of at a light and you push on the gas and you rev out of there, it'll measure that and decide whether you're a risky driver or not a risky driver. And then if you drive safe over a period of time, then your rates will continually go down and you don't have to pay as much for insurance. Okay? Needless to say, that's just kind of where we're at today in our society as far as driving and auto insurance are. There's lots more to it. I mean, I only covered a only brief part of it. But let's focus on what they want us to do today so you guys can get through the lesson, okay? So when they do that, you want to look at these first two numbers as kind of being together, okay? So when you look into the book on page 175, they have this chart right here, okay? And so in there, this is the bodily injury part, okay? See, it says bodily injury there. And then down here it has 100/300, and that's what we got. And then it gives us a premium off to the side of that. So if we did 100/300, the premium is $176.80, okay? So this is how much you would pay, all right, for the liability insurance on the bodily part of things. Then you have another one for the property damage, and that's the third number, and we have it at 50 right now, $50,000. And then that is, on this side, that would be $89.90, okay? So we would add that, this plus this, and it would tell us what we have for a yearly premium. So you add $176.80 plus $89.90, okay? And that would be your yearly premium, all right? Now, in our book, when we go to our lesson, they also move down to the second part, the other table on this page, okay? So when you look at the other table on this page, you can see this is talking about deductibles. And one is a deductible and for collision, and then the other one is a comprehensive deductible. And so when you go to do your problems, and we'll go through the first one just to talk about it, you'll have two other numbers to add. This is all addition today, okay? We're just adding all the numbers together, at least for the first four problems, all right? We'll work at the second six together too, and I think there's not much more that you do. On that one, you're just looking up on the grid and figuring out how much you would have to pay depending on the statistics that you have, the factors that you have there. Okay, and we'll go through that in just a moment. Let's finish up this part here first. Okay, so let's do number one on page 177. So turn to 177, okay? On there, they have liability. And they give us those three numbers, 25, 50/25. Okay, so we go to 25 and 50. So if you look back on page 175, you can say 25/50, that was $144.50. Okay, that's the 25/50. And then the 25, that's the property damage. Okay, property is the third one. This is the bodily, the first two. So property damage was 25, and you paid $78.60. Okay? Now, we're not done, because if you look on number one also, it talks about collision at $100 deductible and comprehensive at a $50 deductible. Okay? So let's go back to that page 175. You're going to have to do a lot of flipping today. So look at page 175. You can see the collision at 100. You go to the $100, you find collision, and that is $183.42. So I add that to my list, $183.42. And then I'm going to put one more down there. I'm going to do the comprehensive, which is at $50 deductible, which would be $72.65. Okay, I got all my numbers. Let's add them all up. All right? 2 plus 5 is 7. And you can do this on your calculator too if you would like. So take your calculator out, add these all up, and you'll get your final answer. 11, 15, plus 6 is 21. 6 plus 8 is 14, 17, 18, 19, carry 1. 5. 5 plus 7 is 12, 27, 2, 3, 4. So my answer for number 1 would be $479.17. Okay? Each problem, you'll find out what the bodily injury was, what the property was, find out what your number you're going to pay for collision, find out what you're going to pay for comprehensive. Okay? I don't see any tricks that they do there. So 2, 3, and 4 are going to be exactly like these right here. Okay? If you need to go back through that again, you can review and look at it again. Okay? I'm going to erase this, but this was number 1. And we're going to talk about the rest of them, 5 through 10, okay? Here we go. 5 through 10. So on these, we're going to be using the table that's on page 176, that huge table that's rounded out in green there. And so basically what you do is you find the factor, the rating factor for each of them. Notice it has in that number 5, let me write that one up here, we got an unmarried male, and he's 18 years old and drives his own car. Okay, so what an insurance person does is they go, okay, we know certain factors are to be true based on statistics. They base it all on statistics of things. First, are you a guy or a girl? Second, how old are you? And third, are you driving the car by yourself? Are you sharing it with somebody else? Are you both taking turns driving? Okay, all those things are put into consideration. And then they try to tell you whether you're a high risk or a low risk. One of the things that we do out here to help lower your insurance is we offer a driver's education class out here that you can take over the summers. And if you do that, then you pay a little bit of money to go to the class and you learn how to drive from a person who's training you. It's like driver's education school. And then you go through all those things. And then after you're done, you receive a certificate that says that you passed or you went through the driver's training. And then you take that in to your insurance place and they say, okay, you did driver's training, great. We'll lower the rates of your insurance because of that. One of the other things that is even more important than, I think, driver's training is grades. I never sent any of my kids to driver's training school. I actually used, my kids use their grades to help determine what their cost of their insurance is. They actually find this out, that kids that actually have better grades tend to drive safer. Go figure. So if you care about your grades, they assume that you're probably going to care about how you drive your car too. So they lower your rates that way. Well, that's what this is. This is all trying to figure out how much you would have to pay if you, for all these little factors that you have in here. So let's look at example 3. Okay? And that's not, I don't know if that's exactly what we're trying to get at here. Okay, and so basically what we need to find is the rating factor. Okay? So all we're doing is finding the rating factor on all these things. So we look over at our graph and we look for an unmarried male operator who is in that 18 years old range. Okay, well, if you look over on the chart, you've got an unmarried operator under the age of, or at the age of 18. And if you're looking on your chart, it's that first section right here. Okay? The second one is unmarried male operator under 25 who is not the owner nor the principal operator. Okay? In this one, he drives his own car. We can assume that he is the principal operator. So we look at this part right here. So all you have to do is go, okay, unmarried male, 18, and then see these little numbers here. It says 17, 18. There's the risk factor right there. The risk factor is 3.40. And that's all you do. Okay? That's it. You just put 3.40. It's not going to be too hard. So you just find the risk factor for each person. Okay? Let's do one more. Let's do number 6. Number 6 is an unmarried male that's 19, drives his parents' car. Okay, so that would put him in this category right here. Find the 19, that's how old he is. This category in the middle means that he is not the owner nor the principal operator. If it's his parents' car, he's not the principal operator. He actually gets a lower rate because he's not assumably going to be the one who principally runs that car. So for that one, at age 19, his risk factor on number 6 would be 2, 10. Okay? And so you check that out. All right? Number 7, 8, and 9, and 10 are just like that. Shouldn't take you any time at all to look up the risk factor for the rest of those. Okay? From that chart. And that's all you do. Okay? I hope you have a good time. You do it. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 for our Zoom meeting. I'll make sure to get that link to you tomorrow morning before you guys get on, okay? And then if you have any more questions about today's assignment, you can ask me then, and we can go back through them if you want to, and then we'll talk about what tomorrow's assignment will be the rest of this page tomorrow, okay? All right. Good luck. Go get them. Do really awesome. Hang in there. This could get even crazier before we know it, all right? So, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.